You know what? Let's just rank all the run and gun levels as well. Why not? So again, from ascending order, so from worst to best. Last place, we have Forest Follies. Now, to be honest, I don't really feel that strongly about this one. This is the most simple one and also the worst run and gun level in my opinion. It's very straightforward, it's very simple. There's not a lot of different mechanics or platforming dimensions or anything like super interesting about it. I think the coolest aspect about this level is that one acorn maker machine that creates these, flying acorns that shoot down at you. It just looks very funny, the eyes, and plus you've got that one cracked up flower enemy who's operating the machine with this ridiculous facial expression. It's the only real highlight of the first level. Although, another thing I quite like are these black and yellow piranha plant looking guys who just jump into the air that you'll have to, jump over. And they do remind me a lot of the piranha plants of Mario. But yeah, that's basically it for this one. Definitely the worst one. But I guess I like the soundtrack, and I mean, it's not bad or anything. It's just that the other ones are much better. Like the next one, which is Treetop Trouble. This is a much better level. The start is very unique and engaging. You've got the birds chipping down at you and these cute little rolling and jumping lady beetles, which are quite fun. This entire level basically shrinks the player down to the size of an ant and then makes you traverse the inside of a tree, which is a pretty neat little idea. After that, you have easily the most annoying part of the level, where you jump up the tree with these floating wood platforms and these stupid annoying bees getting in your way. This was definitely the most difficult part for the pacifist run I did. I do really like the stack of wood enemies, if you can call them that. Like these towers with the two faces that are very funny looking, and yeah, I think their design is pretty cool. Now, the last part is just a platforming challenge, essentially, with many moving platforms and these cute little blue flying guys holding leaves over their heads for you to jump on, and then they're like struggling to hold you up, so eventually you have to switch platforms because they'll just collapse. And then you've got that last mini-boss, the Hornet, in combination with these blue platform guys, which is a pretty nice and also quite challenging way to conclude this level. And overall, this is a pretty good one. Yeah, definitely better than the first one. Next, we have Funfair Fever. This is a pretty freaking great level. The first part with the moving trampoline and like the cute little balloons is really fun in my opinion. And the soundtrack of this level is very upbeat and playful, and I really like it. This soundtrack is definitely one of the better ones. And there are also some very obvious Mario inspirations in this track. The inspiration is very hard to miss. I love the whole circus theme of this level, and there are many cool enemy designs as well. You've got the magician, the cute little clown balancing on a ball, and then further into the level, you get to these cute little robot guys that are stacked on top of each other and are hanging on these ropes. I really like their design. This is honestly a dramatic step up from the previous two run and gun levels. It's so much more varied, the backgrounds are much more like colorful, and there's much more going on in general. I really enjoy the final bit with the two pretzels and the hot dog mini boss at the end. And when you defeat the last hot dog guy, he disappears in multiple like bites. Yeah, it's a great level, pretty good stuff. Third place takes Pyrus Pierce, and this is also a very great level. The background with all the buildings and the harbor theme is very cool. I really like a lot of the enemies in this one. Like, I don't even know what to call them. There are these like static brown greenish things that shoot out 3 spiky balls. I also like the giant orange crabs that you can jump on, and that one backstroking lobster with the sailor hat and the beard is also pretty neat. I gotta say, this one is particularly tough to deal with, and yeah, he gets pretty annoying. The music in this stage is great as well, and that's kind of a recurring theme with a lot of these run and gun levels. They all seem to have pretty great musical tracks. Now, the end of this phase is certainly the highlight. You jump up on these wooden platforms held up by some purple tentacles at first, and then there's this huge kraken guy. He's got like an anchor stuck in his head, that you can parry. And when you do so, it like spits out a large ball or a cannon that destroys, you know, the stone obstacles along the way, so you can move forward. And while that is happening, you also have to dodge some other projectiles, which can be pretty tough. Yeah, this last part is pretty awesome. It's challenging, it's all the right things. The design is awesome, the harbor theme is great. I think in terms of mechanics and gameplay, it's better than House Frazzle. Second place, Rugged Ridge. This is the most dynamic and fun level, I think. At least on the gameplay side. The mining guys throwing their pickaxe at you are pretty cool, I think. There's also the like roaring stone tiger heads. And then you get to this stone platform lift where these small dragon babies attack you in the air, while there are some brown mud golems walking around on the ground. This is pretty cool and also very different from the first part of the level and also the third part. And then you get to this part with the small satyr guys playfully running around and these super weird looking like wall guys. I don't even know what to call them. They spit like this black goo at you and you can parry their nose. And then we get to the last and, in my opinion, the best part of the entire level, which already has been pretty great so far. This giant Cyclops guy is chasing you while you need to jump your way across many different platforms until you reach the end. I find this last part so fun that every time I play this specific level, I always anticipate getting to that part. I always liked Cyclops in general, so there might be some bias playing into it. But yeah, this last chase sequence in a way is just a great ending to this pretty excellent level. This last run and gun level is by far the most varied and mechanically interesting. The different enemies are great as well, and it's either the second hardest or the hardest level in the game. I'm not quite sure on that. And in my personal opinion, the best level, House Frazzle. Next we got House Frazzle. And personally, this is my favorite run and gun level. It's so weird and freaky. I guess the theme is like board games or kids' toys or something. I'm not quite sure because there's a lot of different stuff in it. The start is already super trippy with, you know, the moon surface backdrop, these alien machine sci-fi creatures. And then there are these small parades at the top and at the bottom made out of like these funny cars and a giant and pretty cracked up looking duck. And at the end, there's this chessboard, you know, this white and green chessboard with two giant mouths where these parades come out of, and an eye in the middle that you have to hit in order to progress the level. After that, there are these star cannon enemies shooting in 4 different directions. They are easily some of the weirdest enemy designs in the entire game. And there's more. You've got these red cube boxes with spikes and a giant spinning eye in the center. The ones I really like are these green and yellow tuba guys with the little villain mustache. This level is just a complete visual treat. There's so much creative and just absurd stuff in it. It's very cool. And there are also these strange eyes in the background that also look super weird. This might actually be the most challenging level as well, because of the whole gravity switch thing, which is a super cool idea, by the way. And I really like how they implement it with, you know, parrying these upside down cards. And the soundtrack is also very great. I might even like this musical track more than the one of Funfair Fever. It's very rapid and, you know, a little stress inducing because, you know, the piano is going crazy and yeah, it's got a great energy to it, I think. This whole level feels like it's kind of playing with you. You know, the enemies are just laughing at you all the time. They're just very playfully designed and there are all these weird concepts in it. And it also makes perfect sense given the theme that this level kind of seems to be playing with you. Yeah, as you can tell, I really like this level. It's super unique, crazy environment and enemy design, and a great musical track. But gameplay-wise, it's not like the most creative one, I think, except for the gravity switching thing. I think the rest is pretty straightforward. And, you know, the next 2 levels definitely have more unique gameplay mechanics to them, I think. Although the gravity change is a pretty cool idea.